Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa, and over the next couple of weeks I'm going to share with you my journey for an upcoming market. Now, I didn't think I'd be doing any more markets because my last experience wasn't amazing. The lead up to it was, the anticipation, the excitement, but it was a little bit of a fizzle. So that did put a bit of a damper on how I felt about doing markets, especially as it was a very expensive one. Those of you that came along with me for the journey, thank you, because you did cheer me up at the end of it, because you did reassure me that not all markets are the same. It has taken a few months for me to recover. And I wasn't really looking for another market. I have been thinking of other avenues, to sell my crochet, as I guess we all do. But this fell into my lap and I sort of thought it was meant to be. So let's see how we go at the other end of this, little vlog journey. So about a week or so ago, this came to our school via the local council. And there's a huge festival happening in Earlwood, which is where I work, which is a suburb away from me. It's a completely different council, and they decided that it was a great opportunity for the whole community to get together by putting on like a street fair. So they'll be closing off all of the streets in the centre of, the heart of Earlwood, which is pretty much where I grew up. My parents had a shop there when I was younger, and that's how I went to the school that I'm actually working at. But that's another story. Let's get back to the market. So when the organizer came in, I asked her, even though I thought, you know what, it's probably way too late because this is nearly happening. So this was mid-August, pretty much end of August, because now we're on the 5th of September 2025, and as you saw, this is happening on the 20th of September 2025. So we have 2 weeks, guys, to actually get real about it. So basically I said to the organizer, are you going to have any stalls available other than the food stalls? Because I knew that there was going to be food stalls. There's going to be entertainment, like all the local schools will have their school bands there. She said, yeah, we are. And I said, would you be open to having a stall with crochet? I hand make all my crochet items. There's nothing store-bought. And she said, wow, that'll be amazing. Now, I didn't think to ask her straight away what's the stall going to ask, because she did say that she would send me the application. Thankfully, I had everything I required, including photos from my previous market for the setup. I also had the insurance that I needed. So it was all looking good in my favour. And then she said that it's $90 for the marquee. And I thought, wow, that's excellent, because last time I paid $150 a day for a table, or 2 actually in the end, I should say. It was an indoor market. This is outdoor. They have a marquee. They put the signage up for you. So it looks quite promising. So I went ahead and applied, and I actually last week got told that I have been accepted. So that is wonderful. Now, here is the dilemma that I'm faced with, which isn't horrible. I have to decide what items of crochet of mine will I be taking across, and that is a huge decision. So I'm going to go away and think about that, and then I will come back and share with you some ideas along the way. I will be having to probably make a few more items, and this is where it gets difficult for me each and every time, making things that I think will sell and then pricing them properly. So come along with the journey for me. As I said, I'm going to go away now, and I will be back and share what my thoughts are. So I will see you all very, very soon. See you later. Just checking in. It's Sunday night, the 7th of September 2025. We've just come home from celebrating Steve for Father's Day. It was such a wonderful night. The food was delicious, but the company was even better. So I thought I'd better check in and let you know what my thoughts have been since we last checked in. So basically I thought, let me just go back in time, get a little inventory of what I have left from the last market, because I did manage to sell a few things as we recapped, and I have given away a few things since. So the first thing that I've got, and there's only one left, is this water bottle cover or heat pack cover. I don't know if I'm going to make any more, but I really, really think that this is a great item. I did only sell one last time, but I gave one away to my daughter-in-law and one to my daughter's girlfriend, so I know that they're a great product. So we'll see how we go with time, because now, guys, we've literally got just under 2 weeks. So the markets will be not Saturday, but Saturday week on the 20th of September, as we said earlier. So definitely going to take that with me. I actually have a few items here that really surprised me because I had forgotten about them, which is just crazy that you do that. I have way too many scrunchies, so I definitely won't be making any more of those. There's these two lots here. I'll count them at the very end, so we'll do a proper inventory then. And then I have a bag here full as well. So what I'm thinking of doing though for them, instead of displaying them this way, which I have been for a long time, it's a bit cumbersome and awkward to get them off this. Originally I thought it was a great idea, but you know, as you gain a little bit more experience and watching other people, you know, when they talk about their markets and their setups, I'm going to get a nice basket, probably a crocheted basket, unless I find a really nice one out there somewhere for a good price. And I'm going to pop them in there, not all of them at once, but you know, a few of each, and people can just work through them. We'll get to the pricing later because I haven't given pricing any thought at this stage. I'm just trying to get together some inventory. So I'm hoping by maybe Tuesday or Wednesday at the very latest, I have a clear direction of what I have and a focus on what I need to make. I don't think I'll have to make very much. And I also don't want a huge variety of things because then it just becomes messy and overwhelming. And that's where my mind has been. So we've got the scrunchies, we've got that hot water bottle cover. I have 4 of these coasters, the sunflowers. I absolutely love these and they are great sellers. They were good sellers even at that very slow market. I'm going to stop talking about that. It's like PSTD. What's that thing called when you have flashbacks? If I have time, I might make some more, but 4 is, I think, very good start. I have quite a few of these cup cozies. I think I have 10, so I won't be making any more of those. I only have 2 can cozies. We'll see how we go. They don't look very exciting at the moment. I'm going to wrap them in plastic as well, like cover them, so they might look a little bit more attractive, but I'm just doing a little inventory now of what I have. And with my towel toppers, I only have 4. So I don't think I need to make any more. You know what? I sold a lot of them at the Mother's Day stall. I think there was like 17 or something that I sold. But for now, we have 4. So if I can't make any more, I'm happy with that. I also have the soap you know, little holders, or you can actually put potpourri in them as well. I have 5 of these. 5. Like I said, we'll do a proper count at the very end, so I think that's plenty. I have so many headbands and hairbands. Look at all these, guys. I love these. I think they're so pretty. They're a beautiful boho one. So there are quite a few here. So I definitely won't be making any more of these. But it's nice to know that I have them ready to go, right? So that's those. And then I have quite a few of these headbands, just a different style. I don't know if you remember these. So in actual fact, it's really good to know that I am a bit ahead of the game at the moment. I also have 3 bandanas here. So I definitely will not be making any more of those. And I have a few little bookmarks. So there's 2, 4, 5 or 6 of these. Again, I won't be making any more of these. I think they're very sweet and I don't really need any more. Now I've still got some more headbands here. And I'm not sure, I'm debating whether I should take these ones with me and some of these ones here. We'll see how we go. I've got a few different ones here. They're like an ear warmer, but not a thick one. They're more like a headband. So I think that's a really good start. We'll see how we go. I don't think I need any more of what we have seen now. So I'm quite satisfied that in this department, we're good. Now I have to look at toys, what toys I'll be bringing with me, including some loveys. I know that I have some left over. I can see them behind you. And then we'll take it from there. Do I consider taking any blankets as well? That's a big one there. What's the market going to be like? You know, I do know the community. You think this would be so easy. At the very least, you know, I'm going to try to find out from the organizer this week the size of the table, because as I said, I just jumped in without really asking all the right questions. So I'm going to get onto that, you know, hopefully tomorrow, being Monday, they should be open. And then by Wednesday, as I said, if I don't see you before, I'll see you on Wednesday with some sort of clear direction as to where I'm going with what sort, with the products that I'll be bringing with me, or my stock, let's call it that. So it is getting late, so I am, all over the place as usual, but that's what I'm up to today. So I thought I'd better check in and let you know that I have given it some thought. I have chased up some inventory. I'm quite happy with what I've seen. And when I next see you, we will have an idea about toys, and I have to make a decision about blankets. They are big, and pricing them is going to be the tricky thing. But somehow I'll work it out. So for now, I'm going to say good night, and I will see you all very, very soon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, the 10th of September, 2025. So it's about 3 days since I last checked in with you. Since I did see you, I've done some self-talk. And let me tell you, it's the best thing that I ever did. I spoke to myself like I would to a friend, and I said, why are you overthinking all of this, Litsa? Why are you stressing about what's going to sell, what's not going to sell, how much you're going to price everything? It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you can't really predict many of these things. I can go in with some knowledge. I've done a little bit of research. I've been watching other people with their market vlogs, especially friends that are here in Australia. So I've kind of got an idea of, what I should take with me. But in saying all that, I'm not going to overthink it anymore. What I have is what I have. We have now a week and a half before we actually go live at the market or at the festival, which I'm so looking forward to. There is a huge buzz around it in Earlwood and at our school and everywhere. So that's just exciting. I'm going to go with that attitude now. So I'm going to show you some toys that I'm going to be taking with me. If I do add anything to them, of course, at the very end when we do our final inventory, I will show you. The only things that I would like to add, actually, let's talk about that now. Maybe a leggy froggy or two, maybe a stingray, maybe a turtle, but they're all maybes. I'm not going to stress myself out. And I have decided that I'm not going to be taking multiples of everything. I'm just going to have a small variety, and that's going to be as good as it gets. So I've got a little loaf cat here, and there's another one. So there's 2 loaf cats at the very least that I'll be taking. A chicken or 2. I've got 2 little rubber duckies, and I do have 6 ready-made little lovies. I think they're so adorable, and this one is so super soft. So I won't be making any more, and I do have at least half a dozen of these little baby ones, or little tiny ones, I should say. So the good thing is that I do have a variety in sizes there. So that's it. If I take anything else, as I said, I'll be sure to let you know. But at this stage, I'm going to be very relaxed about it. I do have a few nights and a few days ahead of me that I can, possibly make the little toys that I was thinking of, but I'm not going to stress about it at all, because it's just not worth it, guys. It's taking away the joy from this and the fun, because once again, I'm all about the experience. We all know this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a fun way to introduce crochet to the community. A lot of people say that they do like crochet, so we'll soon find out. Now, I'm going to go away for a bit and probably come back tonight or a bit later on, because I want to take some blankets, and I'm going to take stock and inventory of what I have downstairs, because I'm stashing them downstairs nowadays, or storing them, I should say. I've already gifted one on the weekend to a little baby that came into our lives via my daughter, so she's taking that. I know that I might need another 1 or 2 possibly for gifting, otherwise I have time to make them. I know that I've got some for donation, so they won't be coming with me. So there might be 2 or 3 blankets that I might be able to take with me, because that's a huge market, I think, but the right people need to tap into them. So why not put them on display? I've got them, right? So there's no point in keeping them downstairs if I know that I can make more if I need to in the future, obviously for gifting and donating. But for now, why not give it a go and see, what people think? You never know until you give it a go, right? So I'm going to go away and do that. And also, I have a cupboard downstairs, or a section downstairs of a cupboard where I've got a lot of beanies. So I've gifted and donated beanies. but I'm always making beanies, as we know. So I'm going to go and have a look at how many of those I could probably take with me as well, because even though we're in spring here in Sydney, Australia, today was a very cool day, although Monday was a boiling hot day, so you can't win. And some people do go overseas for Christmas where it's cold, so you just never know who might pick one up, and also maybe a couple of bucket hats. So for now, I'm going to say, I hope this update interested you in some way, because it certainly was wonderful for me to come to that realization that I'm taking all the joy out of it. So again, I'm just going to be chilled about this, have fun with it, come back, show you what else I'll be taking with me. Soon we're going to do a proper inventory of everything, and then we have to sit down and price them. Again, I'm not going to overstress or overthink the pricing. I am going to go on Etsy and have a look at prices, because that's a good way to gauge, you know, what the market is like. But I think I need to knock off the price at least 5 or 10%, because I know people mark up their prices because of all the fees that Etsy charges. So that's going to be one way for me to have an idea about pricing. So now you know that everything that's in my head at the moment. So I'm going to go away for a bit, come back, and then eventually we're going to get to market day. I'm so excited for that. So I'll see you all very, very soon. Oh, I'm puffed. I've just made about 3 or 4 trips up and down the stairs, because guys, there are so many more blankets down there than I thought. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this tower here. And I have 2 more, which I really need to decide if I want to take them as well. One is a star blanket and one is a granny square blanket. I've got fluffs everywhere. Oh my gosh, wow. I don't even know if I've got that much table space, because since I last saw you the time before, I forgot to go and check how many meters of space my table area is. So I really need to go and check that out. But wowzers, I'm very impressed that I have so many. There's a few that are blanket yarn actually here, quite a few. Some that are just acrylic. I've even got the poppet one up here. Some I really don't want to let go of. I know that that sounds a little bit selfish. I do have a few downstairs that I left for donation, so at least I've got a small stack happening there. But yeah, I need to decide. I must say that these 2, honestly, I don't know if I want to let them go, because, you know, one day in the near future, there might be grandbabies, God willing. But you know what? I can always crochet more. Again, if I have enough space, I will bring all 11, maybe 9. We'll see how we go. But there you go. What a healthy stash I've ended up having. So I'm going to now take these back down again, put them back nice and safe where I had them until it's time to tag them with a price. And I'm going to bring up some beanies and some cushions. And then we'll say goodnight for today. Okay, I'll see you back very, very soon. Ooh, definitely got my steps up for the day. Cheers, I need a sip. Nice. Okay, so I totally forgot that I had made a C2C blanket with blanket yarn with these matching cushions. Some of you may remember these. So there are 2 cushions and a blanket. So that is definitely a really nice set. Let's pop that down there for now. I also made this very random cushion the other night, and I absolutely love the colors. It started off as a handbag, but it didn't quite make it to that. So I have this cushion here. It's just a throw pillow. A throw, is that what you call it? Or no, this is a decorative pillow. And then some of you may remember this one. I finally finished it, guys. This is what started off to be a blanket, but it's ended up being a cushion cover. I like the way that I tie them up like this. It's so easy to take the covers on and off. The other one, this decorative one, it doesn't have a zip or anything, so we'll see how that one goes. And while I was downstairs looking for the beanies, which I'll show you in a minute, and the cushions, I remember that I had made these things to go with some of the little blankets. So I actually have some more toys very quickly. This is, I know it looks like a mushroom, but it's actually a little cupcake. And then there's these 2 little donuts. I think the donuts are absolutely adorable. And I also have this squish buddy here. So that's, you know, a few more toys that I found that I'll be putting with the collection. But I currently have, I think, about 8 or 9 beanies and 1 cat ear beanie. And I do have a couple of bucket hats. Let me just grab them. Here we go. Okay, so here's my little stack of beanies. This one is the cat ear beanie. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the cat ear beanie and 2 bucket hats. Now, I might try to make, actually, if anything, I'll make another bucket hat in a solid colour. These are very quick to crochet up. These are the granny stitch ones. I wonder if I should make a solid one as well. We'll see, as in the solid looking bucket hat, not the solid colour only. So I think that's plenty of hats really, and beanies. Maybe if I have time, because you know I love making beanies and they're a very quick and easy project. Maybe if I make a few more, that's absolutely fine, because I'm forever donating beanies, so that it's not like they're going to go to waste. I still have a cupboard downstairs that's still very, very full. So that's it for now. I think that our inventory is definitely quite healthy, guys. A lot healthier than I thought. Isn't it funny, like we always say, when you start, you know, looking at what you've actually crocheted, how surprised you are. I'm not going to bother with flowers as much as I love them. I'm not going to make any this time. If I do like a summertime one, I know it's spring now and it would be perfect, but maybe I'll keep them for later in the year if I do another market. You never know with me. I'm so random, I know. Excuse me. I need a clearer direction. And I won't make any market bags or anything like that. I thought about it, but I'm just thinking now that I've seen what I have, it's just way too much. I don't want to overdo it. Like we said, you never know what people are going to want on the day. So just offer them what you have and see how we go. So that's it for now. I'm going to take all this back downstairs again, make some dinner, and then I'm just going to probably tap in on the weekend. You know, it's a little check-in to see how we're traveling. But until then, have a wonderful evening. The next few days, enjoy them. I have no idea what the weather will be like in Sydney, Australia. So wherever you are, guys, enjoy and take care. And I'll see you all very, very soon in the next check-in. I'm back and we're going to take a break from our market vlog just for a moment, because I want to talk to you about Are You OK Day. We celebrate that tomorrow, the 11th of September 2025, and it brings awareness to mental health. It's a good day to stop and think about how lucky we are and extend a caring thought towards somebody else and actually ask someone, are you okay? There's a huge barbecue in the morning at the school, which the PNC put on, and the teachers are there and all of the staff nice and early with the children, and it's just a wonderful day. Now, you do wear yellow to represent Are You OK Day, and every year I wear my headband, which I absolutely love because it's nice and bright. I have had this for about 3 years now. And I also have my friend Marina. She wears the one that I made her, and it just makes me so happy. And about 3 years ago, we sat up here in Coco's Crochet with our little group, and pretty much all of us made one to wear as well. So that always brings a huge smile to my face when I think of that memory. So I thought I would share that with you. But I have quite a few things to fill this basket with. So our friend Rose at Rose Likes Crochet had a wonderful idea this year for Random Acts of Crochet Kindness, and every month she's been picking an item for us to make, and I have been collecting them along the way for tomorrow. So I'm so excited to bring them to you now. So this little basket's going to fill up very quickly. I actually made this basket here. I absolutely love it, and I thought it might be a nice way to present them for everyone. I'm going to leave them on the staff room table. So I'm going to just show you what I'll be taking, because after this they'll be going to their forever homes. I'm so excited. So we have some little hearts. These are just in random order. I can't remember which ones we made first. So I've got these little hearts here, and the little saying is, I'm not lost, just alone. If I've made you smile, take me home. So I hope many people take, well, as many as I've got. So the little hearts here were so quick and easy to make. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got pink and blue. There's 4, 5, 6, 7 little hearts. How cool is that, guys? So 7 people can take a heart home. I'm going to spread them out in there. They don't have to be in order. And then we made some little flowers, and my flowers have a little button in the middle. And again, I've used similar colors because you just use scrap yarns for these guys. So a lot of people just leave them around in their neighborhood, but I just thought that it'd be nice to leave them, as I said, in the staff room. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got the blue and the pink. There's 4 there. Got to do a tally at the end. And then I had this really pretty mint color. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 little flowers. And then I made some butterflies. Love the butterflies. So here's one of them. And I just used that beautiful retro stripes yarn from Red Heart that came in millions. And there's 2, 3. I love all the different colors. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, another great project for scraps. And I think one of the early ones that we made, maybe it was the first one, was this clover. 3-leaf clover, shamrock, is that what it's called? These are for good luck. They'd be great for St. Patrick's Day. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 in there. Oh, it's filling up so nicely. And we made, I only managed to make 1, but he's so cute. 1 little penguin. I know my daughter-in-law loves penguins. She would love him. So there's 1 there. And a wise little owl. And he's got those googly eyes. And I wish I'd made more of those. Didn't have time. And I made 1 little angel. Oh, I love that. And we made some, they're stars. You can use them as tags and things. And they also almost look like little flowers as well. And I've got 1. Oh, look at the glare. 1. How many of these? 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of these. Let's pop those in the back there. I haven't counted, guys. There's plenty. And then we made some fidget spinners, the flower ones. Absolutely love these. I managed to make 3. Again, with the scraps. So, whoop, nearly lost one. And then we have 4 worry worms. So there are 2 colours of each. There's this colour here. And there's this rainbow colour here. So I'm going to pop them all back in there. But let's do a quick tally. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, I'll put him on my lap, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, should have done this earlier, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. Oh my gosh, that means 42 staff members, friends, colleagues will have the opportunity to take one home. I didn't get a chance to make any more, but I think that's a great start. We have around 60 staff at any time, so I'm hoping, everyone will be able, that wants one will be able to take one. So thank you for letting me interrupt our program so I could bring you Are You OK? Day update, because I think it's a very important day. So I'm really going to say good night for now, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye. Hello. Since I last saw you, I've been busy crocheting bags and 1 little penguin. So today is Sunday, the 14th of September 2025. We are 6 days away from the festival or market day, which is on the 20th of September, Saturday. I think that after I show you these makes, the next time I see you will probably be Wednesday, if not before. I think it'll be Wednesday. And by then I'll have some idea about how we're going to price everything. So for now, let me show you what I've been up to since I last tapped in. Now, this little guy, I absolutely love him. He is a little chubby penguin, and I actually have his friend over here behind you that I made ages ago. My daughter-in-law loves penguins, so I absolutely love him as well. He is an easy crochet penguin on YouTube. There are 2 tutorials by Rose and Lily Crochet. I absolutely love making him, and he's also wearing a Sticks and Stones beanie. The tutorial is here at Coco's Crochet. Now I'm going to take off his little beanie. If I can make a pom-pom, I might stick one on there. I think he would look extra cute with that, but we'll see how we go because I'm not great at making pom-poms. So let's take off his little beanie so you can see him in all his little bald glory. Isn't he adorable? Look at his little, what are his arms called? Flippers? I don't know what they're called. And his little feet. He doesn't actually stand on his own, but he's, you know, if you have him up against something. I don't actually know what size the eyes are, but they do have yellow sparkle in them. So I think, you know, matching the yellow. And this has got accents of all the colours, like his little beak and his feet. So that's one little toy that I'm going to add to my little amigurumi toys. I don't think I'll be making any more unless I have any time today or tomorrow, because I really need to stop and start pricing and tagging, because that's going to be a big thing. Now, let's get on to the bags. My first bag that I made, or the first bag that I wanted to make, and I made two in the end, I wanted to replicate this bag here. Now, this is one of my favorite bags. I have two favorite crochet bags that I take when we go out to lunch or to dinner. This fits everything in it that I need it, you know, glasses, like in the case, my phone, keys, you know, and tissues and things, perfect size. And it is so soft and squishy because it's made out of blanket yarn. And every time I take it out, I get a comment. So I thought, why not try to make them again? Now, they come from this great book that I've got here. It's called Super Size Crochet. It is an older style magazine style book. I think I got it about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and I couldn't resist. Now the pattern for it in here, and it's a very simple pattern. I'll just tell you briefly what it is, even though it's a paid for pattern. It's not hard to make. It's called the Ombre Circles Tote Bag. Now they use something like a 15 or a 16 millimeter crochet hook. I used an 8, so it's a lot smaller than what this one is, but it's perfect because that's the size that I actually want it. So basically, if you make any granny square that you like, that's a solid one, this one happens to be a circle, and then you square it off, you can make this bag. So I have two. This is the one that I made first, and I absolutely love the colors, but it turned out a little bit smaller because I am using my Moda Vera Blanky yarn for them, and also the valuable Blanky glitter. So I use some of each, and they do work very, very well together. But this one, I don't know if I was tight attention, but I absolutely love these colors. Oh yeah, and I'm using my Millens. I've got some of this beautiful Millens yarn that I bought a couple of years ago. So I'm trying to work with it because I don't have too much left, and I didn't just want to make amigurumis with it. But here's the bag, and there's a panel, a side panel, and the little handles, and I absolutely love this bag. I love the color combination. Hot pink and black for me is perfect, and I do have the white and the lighter pink in the middle. So that's one, and then I made this one with more pastel-y colors, but it did turn out bigger. Like, look at the difference, seriously. Wow, I didn't realize there was that much of a difference, but that's okay. Now have a look at this one, absolutely gorgeous. I love this color combination. I don't know if I use a smaller size hook for this one. Anyway, so that's that bag. So I managed to make it. I would have loved to make it exactly the same colors, but I don't have any of this left. So I was going to make one, I ended up making two. And then I had some yarn inspirations patterns, and I love this one here. This is the Funky Flower Crochet Tote. It's a red heart tote. Of course, I used a blanket yarn, and I only made one square because that's all you needed to do. And I opted to make a solid square for the back. So here's one of them here. So this is a crossbody bag. The chain is 100 chains. And there's the back. Very, very simple. Just a solid granny square. Now, this is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in there. I love working this pattern. If you don't have that pattern, I highly recommend you get it if you like flowers, because it's one of the easiest flower squares that I have made. Now, with a chain, as I said, I just chained 100, and then I worked into the chain to make it nice and thick. And it does fit very, very nicely. Now, if a younger person wants this other than an adult, they can just tie a little knot in it and they can make it shorter. That's why I went for the longer length. but I had to make two because look at this color combination, guys. This is my favorite, of course. How gorgeous are these? And again, with a solid back. Now, these are just single crochet together around. They don't have a panel, but they do fit quite a bit in there. So you could quite easily get glasses in a case, phone and keys in there, and of course tissues. And then I really wanted to make this one here. So this is again a yarn free patterns on Yarnspirations. It's called the Charming Tote, and of course I use blanket yarn, and this is what it looks like. And this little bow here, I've just attached it with a little hook, is a Viv Crochet's little ribbon or bow. It's called a bow. This is actually a very nice size one. You can sit it like a basket as well, so you can sit like that. I'm just not very happy with that point, but it's still a very pretty tote bag. I made it one round bigger than that one, so it can just be you know, a better size. And I think that the addition of the little bow does break it up nicely. So that's what I've been very busy making the last few nights, and I have really enjoyed them. This little guy here, actually, I finished him last night around midnight. He did take probably a bit longer than, you know, he should have, and I made his beanie very quickly today. As I said, if there's, you know, I will attempt to make a pom-pom. It's just not one of my strong suits. But either way, I think he looks very cute, and I'm hoping that someone will fall in love with him as well. So that's it. I'm going to go away now. It is Sunday evening, close to 6 o'clock. I'm making some soup for dinner. In Greek, it's called avolemono, which is a chicken soup with vegetables in it. So you make the broth, you cook all that up, put them to the side, and then you add rice, and you boil the rice up so it's just nice and tender. And then you add lemon juice, and you whip up some eggs, and you pour that in a stream, and it makes a beautiful frothy soup. It is so delicious. And then you put in your chicken pieces, so you chop up your chicken, your veggies, and also halloumi. We dice some halloumi in there as well. That is a Cypriot thing that we learned from Steve's dad. So I am salivating talking about dinner. So this is the end of the weekend pretty much here, guys. So I hope you've had a great weekend. The next time I see you will be midweek, and we'll only be a few days away from the market. So I need to get tags sorted and prices. So until I see you there, take care, everyone. Hello, I'm joining you from my dining room. It's a makeshift little centre for organising all my makes for the market. So they're basically parked here. Today we're going to be tagging them and pricing them, which has been a huge learning curve for me. I've realised that I've been underpricing everything for a very long time. Haven't given the value that the crochet that we create and myself deserve. So I went on Etsy to do some market research, and I did make a list of the different sizes of blankets, like baby blankets, lap blankets, the throw blankets, and the twin. So that gave me an idea of when I did my sizing took the measurements of my blankets, so then I could price them. And let me tell you, the baby blankets on Etsy, and I know that it's priced up a little bit. Most people mark them up because, you know, for postage or, you know, for the fees that people pay. But a baby blanket, 25 inches by 30 inches or 64 by 76.5 centimeters, which isn't big at all, is $120 on average. And then it goes all the way to $150 for the lap blanket, $230 for a throw, and a twin blanket is at $260. Now they're average prices. Of course you can get, you know, some blankets for higher or lower, and I did look for the bulkier weight yarns, including the blanket yarns, because that's what I predominantly work with. So that was really good doing that. Now I also went on Etsy and priced some plushies, and we'll talk about the plushies next because we're going to do this in segments. So now we're going to just be talking about the blankets. Now with the blankets, my blankets, I am going to take all 11, I've decided. and we'll see how we go on the day. If I bring all 11 back, I won't be sad. I won't be happy, but I won't be sad because it's been a little bit hard for me to let go of some of these. And I might have mentioned this already, but the other night my daughter-in-law and my son popped in and I showed them the blankets, and I said, do you want to take any before, one last minute, dive in before I take them to the market? And they said, no, Mum, because you can make them again for us. And you know what? That's absolutely true. So the blankets that I'll show you today, they all have a little tag like this on them. And I'm going to mark, basically I'm going to put on all of them hand wash and lay flat to dry, and what the fibre is, the fibre content. And then on the back, I've written what I'm naming the blanket, so the name I'll put in my square, and then also my name and mobile number. So that's what that little tag will be on there. So let's get started with the most expensive one, and it is going to be of no surprise, I'm sure, to all of you. It's the 11-star blanket, and I absolutely love it. I hope nothing topples over. Here we go. I tell you what, that tower, if you could see it. So there's the little tag on it. So this one I'm going to price at $230. Let's see how we go. It is a lot of work, a lot of yarn, and it is a beautiful, beautiful blanket. So as I said, as much as I'd love to make all the sales, after all, that's what it's all about. I absolutely love this blanket. So I know that I'd be able to gift it. But I'm going to go away from that because that's the mindset that I have when I second guess myself, that it's okay. No, we're going in there positive, that we'll have some great results. Now the next one is this. Oh my gosh, pardon the noise. Okay, they're a bit closer to us now, so hopefully they won't topple over. Now this one here, so that one I've called the 11-star blanket, the one that I just showed you. And this one is the C to C open block. And you may remember this one here, and there's its little tag. Now this one here, and you'll hear predominantly the pricing is around $200 because the sizes correspond with the prices that I was researching on Etsy predominantly. So this one here is going to be $200. So we'll see how we go with that. And then I have this here, the V and Granny Stitch Cluster blanket. Again, this is tagged there. I've just tied them on with some yarn. And that one there, now I'm going to make another towel. Let's hope that doesn't fall down. That one's going to be $200 as well. And along the way, I've noticed that I haven't sewn in all my ends. This one here, I need to sew all the ends in at the back. So that'll be my job before Saturday. Again, this one is tagged. Now this one here, let me show you the back. So there, that's how I've written it up, and the name and the sizing in both inches and centimeters. Now this one here, because it is one large granny square, 16 little ones, and 4 of the medium-sized squares, there's a lot of work in this blanket. So I'm going to price this one at $200 as well. And the yarn is beautiful. So all the fibres that I'm taking are either acrylic or polyester, so no animal fibres, so hopefully there'll be no allergies. Now this one here is one of the hardest ones to let go of, but I'm letting it go. It's the poppet one, so the poppet blanket, that's what I'm calling it. This one I'm going to put as $200 as well. Wouldn't it be great if we sold even one blanket? That would definitely cover the fee, which I'll talk about later, and the marquee and everything, the setup, because I'm always jumping. Let's stay focused today, Litza. Now, next is the wave blanket. This one is a little bit smaller than the others, even though there was a lot of colour changes. I think I've got this one at $170. I think that's a very fair price because it is still a very decent sized blanket. It's actually, how many? It's 40 by 43 inches or 102 by 109 centimeters. So I think that's very reasonable. And then we have the Starburst one. I love this one here. Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work in this one. I think there's 25 squares in total. So this one's $200. And then all the C2C blankets are $200, except for the ones that are just one color, not the two colors, and they're $190. So this one here is $200. I love that blanket. And then I love them all. And then this one here, that's the same. So I'm calling, that was the maroon one, and this is the two greens I'm calling it. Now this one here, the gold one, that's what I'm calling it, gold, C2C gold. This one is going to be $190. There's its little tag, but I'm going to show you some cushions, which I've already showed you before, but I'd like to sell it as a set. So we'll see how we go with that. And then I have this one here at $190 because this one is, although it's got different colors in it, it's actually one yarn because it was a variegated, so I didn't do any color changing. And then lucky last, let me pop this over here, is the pink. Really like this blanket here. I love the scalloped edge. I love the hot pink and the pale pink together. So they're tagged and ready to go. The granny square one, I have to sew in some ends. I noticed there's one end for the wave blanket, and I think that might be it. I can't remember seeing any more. So that's really good. Oh, I've noticed that one of the little ties has come undone, so that's no good. I don't want to double knot them because I want to make it easy for people to take them off. So that's the blankets, 11 blankets. Let's see how many we sell, okay? I wonder how many people will still be interested in them. I've actually made a little poster. I'll show you all that at the very end, and it says beautiful blankets on it, and then it's got like new baby housewarming and things like that, but we'll talk about that later. So I'm going to pop off for just a second, and then we'll come back with maybe the plushies because they are very, very cute. See you in a sec. I'm back, ready for the cuteness. So all the stuffies or plushies that have got the safety eyes in, I'm putting this little tag with them, which is a safety warning. Sure how focused that was, but it basically says warning that it's not for children under it's not recommended for children under 3 years of age because some of the parts may cause a hazard. So you'll see the little tags of them. Now again, I went on Etsy to price them. I took like an average amount price, and then this morning I watched a recap market video by Sammy on YouTube, and it was the best thing I did, because she's so wonderful that she put all her prices that she actually sells her plushies. She's in Tasmania, Salamanca Markets. It's an amazing market. It's very fancy. I've been there because when we visited Tasmania, the demographic might be slightly different because she does get a lot of tourist traffic there as well. But I really was underpricing my plushies after seeing the prices on Etsy, taking the average and seeing Sammy. I'm quite confident that I've priced them appropriately. But you know what, it's all about the market, right? The people where I live, it's quite it's middle class and maybe a little bit more. The people are quite comfortable, but it is an older community. So we'll see how we go on the day. I haven't bought huge amounts, so that's a good thing, I guess. But what I have bought, I actually love. I would love to keep them all, but I think it is silly because I am running out of space, and as my children keep telling me, I can remake them if I want to. So the first one I'm going to show you haven't actually seen yet because I've just made it. It is so cute. It's a strawberry turtle. So look at that face. And I've put the little tag on her belly because I didn't want to put it on the strawberry. So I think she's very, very cute. I hope you think so too. And I'm pricing her at $35. I know I was going to do $25 originally, but then I thought I've seen these for $55, so let's go to $35. I'm just going to read off my list, which I have scribbled. Look at that. Quite a few times I made changes because, as I said, I've got to stop second guessing myself and overthinking it. Next we have the chocolate cow. Now I absolutely love her, and she may not be huge, but there was a lot of work involved in this, including her little dress, And there she is tagged there. And I've got her down as $35 as well. So I'm going to pop her back there. Now, the little penguin that I showed you with his little beanie, I've actually added a pom-pom, which I think makes him even cuter. And I've got him down as $35 as well, because he is a chunky one. There's a lot of stuffing in there, quite a bit of work. And of course he has a beanie and a pom-pom, which you know I don't love to make a pom-pom, but look at him, isn't he gorgeous? So that's our little penguin. And then we have the little koala, which you have seen before. Just tagged in there. Even though this one doesn't have any safety eyes, I put a tag on it and I've left it. So this one here, again, $35. He is very, very cute. I think so anyway. And then we have our big chicken. Now I'm hoping people, if they buy a blanket that corresponds to some of the toys, I'm going to show them the toys to, you know, let them know that they are available. I love this chicken here. It is my first crocheted chicken. I have made knitting machine chickens before, and I'm going to price him at $30. And he is a very decent size. She. I always call chickens he's. They're she. Now, the loaf cats, I have two, one with and one without safety eyes, and they're both going to be priced at $30. So there's this one here, and then the one with the safety eyes, I've put the little tag on. Aren't they adorable? So we've got those down at $30. I was going to put them at $35, which I might still do, but at this point in time, they're $30. If anything changes, I'll let you know. And then I don't know if you remember this little pig. I made it to go with the pink blanket that I just showed you, with its curly little tail. Again, safety eyes, embroidered eyes, so I don't need a tag. And I've put this one down as $30 as well. Very, very soft yarn. And then we have our little rubber ducks. Now I have 3. And they've all got a tag because they all have safety eyes. Where's the third one? Oops, where are you hiding, little one? Oh, right here. And I've got these at $25. There they are. How cute are they? Seriously. Apparently people with Jeeps love them. I'm not sure why. I really should research that. And then we have our little chicken, the little white chicken that I made with safety eyes, so it has a little tag. And this one here I'm putting at $25. Then we have our snake. I've got to reach over. Steve said I should have made more of these, and I probably should have. Look at that face. Now this one is $25, which I think is very reasonable. And then we have our little bear. Now she is tiny, but she was a lot of work. She doesn't have safety eyes, but I did put a tag on because this comes off. I'm not sure what I should be tagging or not. So I've put her at $25 because she was a lot of work. And then we have our little squish bear here, Squish Buddy. Now this one here, I've put him in as $35 because he is a chunky one and there's a lot of fibre fill in here. And there were a lot of stitches in the rounds. So that's how I'm justifying it. And then we have our little dragon. Now he does have safety eyes, so he has a tag. And I've put him down as $20. And then we have our lovies, which are behind me. Oops, so here's one of them. That was nice and noisy. So these little lovies, they're the stuffies. Zelda NRJ3 is the tutorial that I use for the little poncho bit, the lovey bit. So these ones are going to be $35. And then I've got the little baby ones here. Oh, sorry guys, I wasn't as prepared as I thought. So there's these here. So I'm going to have these at $10. Oops. Now they are a little stuffy underneath as well. And they are very, very soft, the yarns that I use. So they'll be $10 each. And this morning I made a leggy froggy. I just had to get one in. And he doesn't take very long at all. He's not huge, no safety eyes, so he's safe for everyone. I'm putting him in at $15. And then we have our water balloons, which I forgot to show you last time. These are left over from the last market I did, so they're perfectly bagged still. I have 4 sets in here. And I think the water balloons, it's a good time of year for people to think about buying some. They're going to be $10 for a set of 3. And then we have nearly done now. We have 2 donuts, and I'm putting the donuts in at $20 each. There's a strawberry and a blueberry one, and then a cupcake. And the cupcake, I've got it down, I think $20 as well. I was thinking of 15. I might go down to 15. I always say it looks like a mushroom. So that's all the toys, guys, and I think that I've got a nice variety. The only ones that I've got more than one are the little rubber ducks, and even though I have 2 of the loaf cats, they're not identical. And of course, the little ducks are different colours. I don't want to have too many of the one item. I want to see what goes in this demographic. Is that the right word? And also, I think people, if they see one of each, because it's not going to be a huge market, like it's not like a Comic-Con or something, far from it. I think that having the one might make them think, well, it's a one-off, and it definitely is, everything that I've showed you. So that's the plushies. I'm going to tap out for a second, and when I come back, I think we'll look at the beanies and all of the hair accessories. Just be one sec. Now I'll show you all the beanies, bucket hats, headbands. It's going to be a nice section where I have all, you know, that sort of stuff sitting there. Stuff, that's not a very good word. So these came across from last market. So I was actually ahead of the game before I even started. So that's pretty good. I absolutely love these little boho headbands. They're very, very cute. Here they are there. I have 7 of them. They all have a little handmade tag on them. Not everything has a tag on it, but they were already on there, so I thought obviously I'll keep them. These are all cotton, predominantly. Some are cotton acrylic, so $10 each. I think that's a very fair price. I would like for them to go, especially now with the, you know, spring and summer, people might be more interested. And then I have what I'm calling the headband, this one, the window headband, to differentiate. They're a little bit wider. I do have 5. Most of them are either bamboo cotton yarn or cotton yarn, and these will be priced at $15. Then I have a variety of just, you know, just the plain headbands, thin and thick. 5 in total, so $10 and $15. And these are cotton and acrylic predominantly, or just cotton. They're very nice. The headband that I wear for Are You OK Day is actually this pattern. It's actually gorgeous. Let me show you up close. I really, really like that one. And then I have some Ogo yarn headbands left, which I promote as, like, when people look at them, not only just for wearing, but they're really nice for when you have do your makeup, you can put them on. And I think that they're such nice bright colours. So these are going to be, I think, $15. I've got them down as. I think so, yeah, $15. I think that's a very reasonable price for those as well. And then we'll get on to our little bandanas. Again, I didn't have to make them because I had 3. So these 2 are made with bamboo cotton, and this is cotton yarn, and they're just the granny stitch bandanas. Very, very pretty. Again, very nice for the spring, summer. We'll see how we go. I've made 3 bucket hats. 2 you've already seen. And I made a pink one. Now, these are all cotton yarns. This one is cotton acrylic, actually. It looks a little bit smaller, even though I use the same pattern and same hook. It's obviously the yarn, so there's 3 of those, but people come in different sizes, their heads, which is great. I only have 1 caddy beanie, and I imagine they would be quite popular with the teenagers, but for now, I'm just bringing this one, a nice chunky one. So when you fold it up, it actually looks like that. I really like that one. I do have some sticks and stones beanies, of course. I have 1, 2, and 3. I really like this one in that monkey yarn. It's just a vanilla beanie, let's call it. And then I have a variety of beanies that I had duplicates of, sometimes more than one, from Beanie of the Week. So how wonderful is that, that all of these I already had made. So I'll just show you the beanies here. Now all the beanies and the bucket hats are going to be $35. So they're just simple ones, like, you know, the simple stitches, some puff stitches. These are all divine hats, different yarns, which is nice because it gives people a variety and slightly different sizes, of course. And then look at these. Some of these are the C to C hat. Look how bright and colourful that one is. So I think that's it for the headwear. So I'll be back in just a moment. I missed the scrunchies in the back, of course. I've got quite a few of these, so I haven't made none. I didn't need to. I must have at least 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 scrunchies. So what I'm going to do is price them, one for $3 or 2 for $5. So I'm going to put them in a big basket, I think, and people can just pick and choose what they want. It's just easier than having them, even though they're great for display like that. When people want to, choose one, if it's down the bottom, it's a little bit annoying. You live and learn. So they're going to come as well. Then we have our little pumpkins here. Now the pumpkins, I think, are going to be a big hit at this time of the year. So I have these two that are the same pattern. And then I have this one here, which I absolutely love, the wheat stitch. If I had time, I would make more. But as always, it's a time thing, guys. Now the pumpkins I'm pricing at, I think, did I say $25 each? Let's have a look here. $25 each. And then we have some bags. Now, since I last saw you, I've made more bags. So let me just drag this chair across a little bit. So you did see these two. Now all of the bags, I think I'm going to price at $50. So these are the two. See how this one's a little bit smaller, but these are gorgeous. I have one like this myself and I know how good they are. So I'm pretty sure that I said all bags $50. I and ahhed about putting them $40, but then when I realised that just the yarn in them, it's quite expensive, let alone my time. Even at minimum wage at $20 an hour, these take a little bit longer, and there's a lot of colour changes in these. Maybe the ones that have got less colour change, I could go down $5. But for now, we're saying $50. At the very minimum, $40 for some of them. Now, this one here is like a tote, and it's got a little bow on it as well, which you can detach. It's actually a very good size. Now, this one, the only thing I don't like is that point, but when you put things in it, it doesn't actually show. This is the one that I said maybe $40, but it's got a lot of yarn in it. So we'll see how we go. So let's stick to the plan, $50. And then I have quite a few of the crossbody ones. I love these. Now, you did see the two flower ones, which I absolutely love. These two here. And this is the strap is 100 chains, so it's a good size strap. And then I single crochets back into, slip stitch back into it. So it's quite sturdy. And being blanket yarn, it's really, really dense. So you don't have to line it or anything like that, which I love. Then I made a granny square one. I love this. And the yarn that I had here, the variegated, is perfect because it had, I matched the colours. So when I joined it together, I think it looks good anyway. And then I made a solid one. Actually, my friend at work, she suggested to make some more solid colours. And I thought, yeah, why not? I've got plenty of solids. So this is just a granny square on either side. And I've just about to finish the the strap, the handle. This one is, I love this colour. So that was chocolate, and this one is like a burgundy colour. And I did the sunburst granny square on one side and just a granny square on the other. So I'm attached to the yarn because I just have to finish slip stitching into the chains for the strap. That's that. Now, cushions. So I have these two cushions here, which I want to sell as a set with the blanket that I showed you before. And I think $75 for these is a very good price. First of all, the yarn is ridiculously nice. They also come with a cushion insert. And then we have this one here. This one doesn't come off, you can't take it off. And it is slightly smaller, so I'm leaving this one at $50 although I think it's gorgeous. And then last but not least, this cushion insert is even better than the ones that I just showed you. It's from all those cushions that I bought for $5 from Spotlight a few months ago. And this yarn itself is, you know, that recycled yarn. What's it called? Anyway, this yarn costs a bomb. So here in Australia, so this one's going to be $70, did I say, or 75? I have my list somewhere. Let's have a look at it. Cushions, $75 with a cushion insert. So I think that's all my inventory. I think I've got more than enough. I do have 3 tables and a marquee, which of course I'll take photos of on the day, but they did send me a photo of it. So it's actually a really nice setup. It's like the market marquee stall that we had for the school fete, which was awesome. I can't remember the dimensions exactly, but I will give them to you before I go off to the markets, because I'll probably do one more check-in on the morning of or the night before. So really, we've only got 2 more days to finalize everything. I do have to sew in some ends. I'm going to pack everything really nicely. The only thing we're hoping for is no rain at this stage, because we've had glorious weather, very hot weather the last few days, and we know that that generally brings rain. Last night there was a huge downpour, and that's fine, you can pour all night. They are predicting light rain on Saturday in the morning, but it is what it is, guys. The fabulous thing is when they showed us because we've got our bumping time and all of that already, where I'm positioned is actually outside or in front of the shop that I grew up in. It used to be a coffee lounge when I lived in Earlwood when I was a young child before we moved. And it's going to be really, really nice that I'm there. So more on that on the actual day. I'll show you the setup and everything else. But for now, I don't think I'll be making anything else. I'm going to have everything ready to go, and I don't want to second guess my prices. Oh, the only other thing that I want to show you, there's always another thing. Oh my gosh, even that I make lists, guys. So this little hexi-cardi goes with a little granny square blanket, and I'm still attached to the yarn because I haven't finished it. So I'm going to sew in the ends, and I'm going to take that with me. Now, I think a little baby hexi-cardi could even go up to $50, but we'll see for the final price. And I do have 2 baby beanies, so I thought $20 was a good price. They're those little granny square granny stitch. I absolutely love them. And again, it's a matching set with this. Or maybe I could do like a set and price it, the 2 beanies and the hexi-cardi. That's not a bad idea, right? So we'll do that. Maybe it'll be more attractive for someone to purchase. If only I had time to make booties, but it's too hot for now. And you're probably thinking, why are you taking beanies then? Because some people go away for Christmas overseas where it's winter. So I'm hoping they'll be thinking that far ahead. I'll try to pop that in their head. So that's it. Everything is tagged, priced. I am going to make price lists, but now I have to put everything in my square, because I went on this morning to do a couple of little updates and it's kicked me out. So I've got to refine my password and do all of that. All the admin stuff takes so long, let me tell you. A lot longer than I ever thought. But that's okay, it's just part of the journey, right guys? So I'm going to tap out for now. I hope you all have a lovely evening. I'm going to get on to, the business of getting dinner ready and lunches sorted. And I'll probably see you Friday night and then again on Saturday, which is D-Day. So until then, take care. Final check-in before market day. It's Friday, the 19th of September 2025. It's nearly 9 o'clock. I have finished putting all the inventory into the square. I've updated it. I've changed a few of the prices. We'll talk about that after market day. I have bought my tulip beanies, which I almost forgot, guys. I can't believe it. So they're coming along as well. And I wanted to show you how I packaged the little hexi-cardi, a little beanie in like a little gift pack for a baby. And I've got it in here in one of these boxes. I used to make cookies a long time ago, and this is a leftover box. So in there, little leggy froggies. fallen over. Let's pick him up. So in there I've got the hexicardie and the little beanie. I thought it'd be nice to include a little card, and just for people to have an idea, I thought, you know, I'd pop the little leggy froggy just on the side. He really does go really nicely with those colours, just to give them an idea of, you know, what else they could add to it. I'm going to sort of kind of see if I can set up the stall in a way that I group things that gives them, like, gives people ideas what they can actually take away for a purpose, like a birthday or a, you know, housewarming or a new baby gift, something like that. Now, we need to bump in tomorrow between 9:35 and 9:50, and the stall that I have is 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in feet and inches. So this is what we need to display on our dashboard so that they can let us in, because everything's going to be blocked off, as you can imagine. And then at the end of the day, same thing, we need to have that obviously in the car so we can drive back in. And bump out, I think, is between 5:35 and 5:50. So it's going to be a long day, even though the festival or the market days from 11 till 4 open to the public. We need to be there a bit longer. The good news is that Steve has actually got a day off work, so I'm going to have some company. I will try to take some video footage, or at least some photos of, you know, the other stalls and some of the entertainment if I can, which would be great. And then of course after the event I'll come back, do a little recap, and then I will share the whole journey with you. So thank you for coming along. I am very, very tired. I'm sure you can see it in my face. All we need to do now is pack the car, and I'm hoping that everything will fit in there. I haven't done a mock setup. I never ever do. I guess this is only my third real market. The first was a school fete, which didn't really count, it just happened. The last one was earlier this year, and then now this one. So we are learning as we go. Fingers and toes crossed, guys, that it is a successful event and that I come back after, you know, showing you around tomorrow with a nice, happy recap. But for now, I'm going to load the car, have a shower, hop into bed, have a nice hot cup of tea, relax my mind, and get ready for a fun, eventful day tomorrow. So I'll see you back in just a moment. Good morning, good morning. It's 7:30 a.m. Saturday the 20th of September 2025. It's market day. Thankfully the blue sky has come out. It was raining all night, and first thing this morning when I put a load of washing on, it was windy and overcast and scary. But now it seems that things have brightened up. The car is filled to capacity. The boots chockers, as you can see, I've managed to fit all the bags of goodies in there. And then I've got the back seats full of all my little props and the blankets and things. And then let's scoot over to the other side. And in there, in that bag there, are all the plushies. Oh, let's open the door. All of the plushies are in there. There's enough room for Steve to sit, and I'm going to have that bag on my lap. So I'm hoping very soon, you know, we'll be ready and we'll be off, and I'll be able to show you the setup at the market. So I'll see you back in just a moment. We're on our way now. The lovely Steve is driving. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
We're hoping that there won't be a huge queue, because we have no idea what we're going to meet up at the other end. So stay tuned. Hello, welcome to the final check-in for our adventure for this Coco's Crochet Festival at Earlwood Market. It was amazing, let me tell you now. I cannot wait to tell you all about the day, and then at the end we'll talk numbers. Now I'm going to pop this souvenir away because I'm going to keep that for a very long time. Now, oh my goodness, it's just all over the place. So, today's Sunday, the 21st of September 2025. The event was yesterday, Saturday, and it was an amazing day. As you saw, the sun was shining, thank goodness, because the night before it was pouring with rain, and I was a little bit concerned. But I did know that we weren't going to be on grass. We were actually on the road that was blocked off. So that was amazing. Now, along the way, I'm going to pop in photos that Steve was kind enough to walk around and take for me, including the setup. because when we got there, we had to drive in the morning. We got there just after 9:15ish, I would say, a little bit earlier than we were meant to, because we thought there might be a queue, but there was no queue. So we were ushered in by, all the road safety people, and we got to our stall, which was C7, and we just unloaded, and then Steve drove off and found a parking spot, thankfully, because it was chaos. Let me tell you, my son tried to come and visit, but he couldn't even find a parking spot anywhere near the actual event. So he said, "Mum, I'm so sorry, I needed to go back home." I said, "Don't worry, we'll catch up later." So when we get there, we drop off, and then we started to set up. It was a little bit windy, which was a concern, but it didn't really affect us very much. I just had to tuck in all my tablecloths. I didn't bring any ties. I didn't think about that, but that's okay. And the other thing that I realized when I got there is that I bought way too many things. I did have 3 tables. It was a little bit of a slant, but that didn't really matter. So I didn't want to have a crowded display, but it ended up being a little bit more crowded than I would have liked. But the good thing is that the position that I was in, and by the way, right behind me was the shop that I grew up in. That was just amazing. And it was actually a really good conversation piece along, through the day. So we set up, as I said. I had some foam, which I really should have shown you, but I had some foam that was packing from some furniture, I think from a table or something that my son and daughter-in-law had purchased. So that was perfect to create like a height. Some of the toys and things were against it, the ones that had to lean, and then I had, like height to put things on top. So that was really good to be able to do that. And I also bought my washing basket, and I put it on one side so I could drape the star blanket over it. It sort of helped them understand what it looked like, and it was actually really good, because as they walked past, a lot of people did touch and feel that and went, "Oh, that's so soft." So, we were pretty much set up within the hour, I would say, and that was still only, it would have been around 10:30 a.m., but the festival didn't open until 11. So until then, all the different store holders, we were talking to each other, and it was actually really nice. And I was very lucky because my position was next to the Greek Orthodox church, the local church. They had a huge amount of traffic because people were buying icons and the biscuits and, different honeys and marmalades and things that were all homemade. And that actually really helped with the traffic. And then on the other side of us, so that was to the right, and to the left, we had the local community centre. So they were giving out bags, so people love a free handout. I think they had water in it and some information about, different things that they could do. It was geared more to the elderly so that they could have information about events and things that they could attend, and services and things like that. So that was really, really good for us. There were so many food vendors as well, plus all the local shops were open. And we thought, it's going to be a busy day because the locals in Norwood generally do support. And let me tell you, the support was huge. The crowds did not stop flowing from 11 on. Our school, including some of the other local schools, had their bands there, and they also had performances, dancing, school ones, and they also had multicultural performances. There was a team of lady drummers, female drummers. They were amazing. But the whole day started off with a smoking ceremony from, our Indigenous Aboriginal community, and that was amazing. The compere was George Capignaris, which is Mimo from Acropolis Now. So if any of you grew up in the era that I did, you must know who I'm talking about. He is hilarious and actually a really good guy. I've seen him in interviews and things like that. So he was the compere or MC for the day. So he opened the day and closed it. And throughout the day, there were bands walking around, and it was just amazing. I did not stop talking for the entire, 11 till 4 p.m., 5 hours. I got visitors that I had met throughout the years at school, so parents, so old families, current families, because our school also had a stall there. The teachers, all the teachers that came, they came past, and so many friends and family that we've known. All of Steve's family was there, so that was amazing. All of the nieces and nephews and their children, they all came, and his cousins that are our age, and they came, and it was just an amazing day. I tell you, it was such a feel-good day. I've got a bit of a croaky throat because I haven't stopped talking, and then I've been debriefing about it today. You know, my mum asked me, and of course the children, we texted each other last night, and then we caught up today. So I have to say that it was a wonderful event, and I was very lucky that they just happened to come into our school, and I did ask if I could apply for a stall. Now, I think this is going to be happening yearly, so I am going to be putting my hand up for it again next year. The stall costs $99 plus GST, so sorry, $90 plus $9 of the GST, which I think is very reasonable, because as they promised, they had advertised, I would say, for the whole of the council, which is a big area, and people were coming in from not just the suburb, which was amazing. Now, I took with me, guys, it was unbelievable. When I did my tally, I could not believe that I took $4,913 worth of stock. But hold on. The blankets were $2,380 worth. So everything else was about $2,500, my inventory, which included all the plushies, the bags, the beanies, you know, the headbands, the scrunchies, and the pillows and the lubbies and all of that. So half of the stock was the blankets. Now, in all honesty, I said to Steve, if we sell just one blanket, we've covered our rent. So we're laughing, we'll be fine. So we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about our final numbers. And I did take $115 float with me, some cash, and then I've taken that out of my final tally as well. So let me tell you, the biggest surprises were still yet to come for me, because I was in love with everything that I took with me. And of course, I didn't want to let go of it originally, but the children did say to me, and I kept telling the people, my children said, Mum, you can make it again. With the toys, so all the little animals, I started saying to people, did you say you wanted to adopt a pet? And I wish I'd made up some little certificates, because I've heard other people say that before, but it was a good way to bring them in. And I would say you don't have to feed them, you don't have to water them, you don't have to walk them, you just have to love them and give them hugs. So that was really, really fun. I was in the habit of saying to people, hey, I made all of this. This is all handmade. And at the end, I actually started saying none of this is from Temu, which did make people giggle. Because you know what? It's true. And the other amazing thing was that there were so many people that came up to me and said, my grandmother used to do this, or my mother taught me how to crochet. Children, I'm talking about from the ages 9 till about 14, they have just picked up a crochet hook. So honestly and amazingly, I was so impressed and so happy to hear that our art, this craft of ours that we love so much, is going to be continuing for a very long time. I think I got at least 3 subscribers from the day, which is pretty amazing, because I had my QR code up there. A lot of people took my card, which was great, so we have contacts. And at the very beginning, I'd say pretty much, maybe 20 minutes in or so, there is a local shop called Kids Emporium, and the owner approached me and she said, would you be willing to make blankets and baby articles and a few other things that we're going to talk about so that we can sell them through the shop? And I thought, wow, this is awesome. What a great opportunity. I've always searched for a consignment store type thing, but it's not something that we had around the place where I live. So that was so wonderful. So I will be contacting Rhonda next week sometime. So I will definitely be letting you know what happens there, which I thought was amazing. So let's talk about the things that sold and the things that didn't sell. I will be going through all of them, and I'll give you the times because I had cash sales, and I also had sales on my square. So I will let you know when the first and last cash sale was and the first and last square sale was. But throughout the day, guys, it was happening sometimes 2-3 minutes apart. 10-15 minutes apart with a square and with a cash, and then anywhere in between there were just conversations that were being had. It was just amazing. I just loved it. So I actually didn't have time to sit down and crochet. I did bring a wheat stitch blanket that I'm making for a baby at the end of the year. I didn't touch that. Lucky I bought strawberries and my peanut butter toast to eat, because Steve was queuing for hours to eat, and in the end he ended up buying a sausage roll and a pizza, even though they were the fanciest foods there, including paellas, and there was a souvlaki store, like a barbecue, and just so much other happening. But you know, it was just so busy. It was such a great surprise. Okay, so let's talk about what sold and what didn't sell. I might actually wear my glasses so I can actually read properly. Now, and whatever I have a photo of, I'll try to pop in, but I haven't got photos of everything, guys, so please accept my apology. But in the past, through my podcasts and that, I have shown you different things, and also somewhere along the line this vlog, I'm hoping that I had showed you everything as well. Now, the bear with a little frill collar, oh no, hold on, that's backwards. Let's flip this over, because I'm going from the most expensive stuffies or you know, toys, plushies, down to the least expensive. And what was wonderful about this as well is that it surprised me that when you do price things what they're worth, people still buy them, guys. So don't undercut yourself. So the very first thing that sold at pretty much 11 a.m. was the strawberry turtle. It was the first sale, and it made me so happy. A little 5-year-old girl who was part of the dance troupe, she walked past with her mum, and her mum said, what would you? And she said, I want that, mum. And it was just so beautiful. That was the first sale and a cash sale, and the strawberry turtle was $35. Then the chocolate cow, she sold for $35. She got so much attention, let me tell you, with that nose ring. I know that it's for a bull, but it's fashion. You can have a nose ring if you're a cow. And then the little penguin with the beanie, $35. So I had one of each of these. If I had any multiples, I'll let you know. One koala with the overalls for $35, and he's actually being shipped overseas to Cyprus to a little boy who lives over there. His aunt bought it for him. The Squish Buddy Bear was $35. My big chicken was $35. I had 2 loaf cats, $30 each. They both sold. So everything here sold. 1 pig for $30. 3 rubber ducks for $25 each. 1 smaller white chicken for $25. 1 snake for $25. Steve keeps saying, you should have made more snakes, darling. The bear with a frill collar for $25. 1 dragon for $20. A mushroom poppet for $20. I had 2 donuts, a strawberry and a blueberry, $20 each. And I had a cupcake for $15. And I sold a Mobius fidget that I've had for a while, quite a large one because it was made out of blanket yarn, for $15. And that was the last sale at 4 p.m. and that was a cash sale as well. Now, next we have 2 little leggy froggies. The first one of them, and they were $10 each. And the first square sale was at 11:30 a.m. and that was a leggy froggy. It was actually to one of the little babies. The teacher is a friend of mine at my school. And then I sold 2 out of the 4 sets of 3 water balloons that I took with me, and they were $10 each. And then oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I made these. The crossbody bags, I took 5 and I sold all 5 at $45 each. They were what I was talking about in my podcast, the last one on Thursday. Was it podcast number 153? Because I did say stay tuned, you'll know what they're for. Now the other bags that I made haven't sold as yet, but I'm sure eventually they will. I had taken 3 pumpkins, 2 sold for $25 each. One was a wheat stitch one and the other one was the single crochet one. I took 6 big loveys, the ones that have the stuffed toy and the little poncho on them, and I took 6, so 2 sold at $35 each. And I took the little baby loveys, you know, with the little stuffed toy and the little poncho. I took 6 and 2 sold at $10 each. So that's pretty much, you know, all the toys and a few different things there. And then we have some head wear. So I took 36 scrunchies in total. I sold 9. 3 were at $3 each, and then I had 2 for $5, and I sold 3 of that price range at $5. So that was $9 for 3 and $15 for the 3 sets of 2. Now I did take some thinner headbands, and they were 2, and I sold both at $10 each. I had 5 of the wider headbands, and I sold 2 at $15 each. And I had 3 bandanas, and I sold 1, the blue one, for $25. And that was my last sale on the square at 3:50 p.m. Now, did I say that the fidget was the last sale? If I didn't, the Mobius fidget was the last sale at 4 p.m. and that was a cash sale. I can't remember if I told you that. Now, the blankets, let me tell you, they got so much attention. I had priced them at $200 for most of them, $230 for the star blanket, and I think $170 for the wave, and a couple were $190. People loved them. And I wasn't going to budge from the price, guys. I wasn't being silly. I just think that they're worth that because I only put in my time for crocheting. I didn't put in the yarn, and I did explain that to them, and they all understood that. Some said that, you know, they would call me if there were any left and think, look, I'm not expecting a call, and if I do, that's great. But this has prompted me to speak again to my children about actually opening an Etsy store for the big ticket items like that. Now, the beanies, again, they got so much attention. Some people even tried them on, but I think it was just too hot. They liked the bucket hats as well. Everyone loved the tulip beanie. Some people said they were going to call to put in an order. But everyone said to me, like my family, it was too hot, Mum, don't worry. And I said, I'm not worried because I actually know that a lot of them will go to donations now. So that's absolutely fine. And it was the wrong season for it. Now, the cushions got very little interest, which is a bit disappointing. People did like them, but they didn't actually show that much interest. The little baby set, the hexacardi and the little beanie got a lot of interest, especially from that lady Rhonda that I just spoke about from the Kids Emporium. So I think that that was really good having that displayed because it was a draw card for her. So, drum roll please. Are we ready to hear the final sales? So I actually sold $1,064 worth. I cannot believe, guys, that is actually amazing. I was so happy with that. Oh, so grateful. Now from that I had to deduct $99 for my store and $13.24, so let's round it up to $15 for my square fees, which brings me to a net. Is that the what you say, your net total of $950. Oh my gosh, guys. You know what? I need a sip. I'm still so overwhelmed by it. I could not wait to text my children. First of all, to thank them for being the biggest cheerleaders. And second of all, to tell them what the sales were. They were so happy. Steve was amazing. He was there the whole day. He actually walked to the car at the very end of the day about 5 times with the bags because our checkout or bump out time was 5:50. We actually got home at 5 o'clock. So we actually walked everything to the car, which wasn't too far away. So what an amazing event, guys. I'm so grateful that Josie from the council walked in that day to advertise at our school. And I just took, you know, a moment to say, hey, do you think you'd like a crochet store there? Do you have any room for me? If this is actually an event next year, I am definitely going to do it. I was very lucky too. There were no other crocheters there. Let's be real, that would have helped as well. But now I know that it's doable, that, you know, it wasn't me in the last market. And I know all of you say that, you know, every market is different. And I can appreciate that. But this one was such a boost. It's exactly what I needed. And I'm so grateful that I was watching different YouTubers talking about their prices, and Jada in Stitches actually put out another video which I watched yesterday morning before we left, and it reassured me that I was on the right track. She says something along the lines, her formula is cost of materials, cost of labor, plus 15% profit. So I think that I was more than fair with my prices. I would definitely not change them. I don't think I need to go higher, but this is me talking now, coming off a high. I now know that plushies are a draw card. People absolutely love them. There were so many people that said that they were starting to crochet them as well, which is wonderful. I'm not sure what direction I'm going in, other than I really do want to have an Etsy store now. But as far as markets go, maybe if I do 1 or 2 like this a year, or even this event next year, and gear myself up with just plushies. This is me talking out loud now, thinking out loud. So much is going through my head. That's why I wanted to bring this to you as quickly as I could, because, you know, enjoying the high with me is a part of this journey. So thank you for coming along once again and indulging me with your time. I really do appreciate that I can debrief with you guys as well. And I love to hear what your thoughts are, you know, because I know a lot of you do markets, and I know a lot of you are so much more experienced than me. I have so much to learn, but I just wanted to share this with you. So thank you once again. I really appreciate the time that we spent together. And until the next market vlog, I hope that you all take care. Bye-bye for now.